So what we have here is we have a Yamaha Timpani. This one happens to be a 28-inch bowl, and the head is a 3100 according to our Timpani jig. I have it written up here, and I do this with all of my Timpani. Once they're set and the heads are changed and everything, I do this. I let the customer know that I do it, just so that future reference, it's done for them. What I set it at, its range that I set it at, and again, the head number, 3100. Okay, so this Yamaha Timpani, it is a, specifically, it's a TP 6200 model. The problem with this one is it doesn't hold the pedal. All right, so I'm going to be doing multiple things. I know I said head changes, leveling, wrinkles, all that stuff. It's going to kind of all be hodgepodge into one. So if I had this head off, I did all my cleaning. I talk about a lot of those kinds of different things in my other videos. I've done the cleaning. I've done the Teflon tape. This is the 1/2-inch Teflon tape. This particular Yamaha has Teflon on it already, but I would be Teflon taping it. I would be talking to my customer about that upgrade, and if they want the cost involved with that. I have my 3100 head, brand new. I have all my stuff off. I've cleaned everything. So I've set my head on there. I've set my rim on there. I've brought all of my tension rods up to finger tight, and then I've started to bring them up until I can get the low fundamental pitch. And for this one, it is an F. Okay? So in this case, to get the low fundamental pitch, we have to have the heel down. Okay? So this one's not holding a heel. So what that tells you is, okay, if it's not holding, and like I said, when you're bringing your new head into tension, you're going around with your fingers, and then you're going to these to set your low tension. If it's starting to, as you tighten, if that head or that pedal starts to move, you're headed in the right direction. So in this case, we want to see why this one's not wanting to hold its fundamental, okay? And notice as I push it down, there's a bunch of wrinkles right here through this field where I'm rubbing my hand. This Timpani head needs tension. So rather than just go shooting in the dark on where I need tension, I want to start looking at the tension rods, and I want to start looking at my spacing in the collar area here. So this is an extended collar Timpani. I'm going to start looking at my height here. So to help you with that, I'm going to pull my jig out, get these out of the way. So I'm going to start looking at the spacing that is between the top of the rim and my jig, my flat edge. And I'm going to start looking at which lug is the lowest. That'll tell me that's the one that has the most tension. And I'm just kind of doing that. All right. So this guy right here is showing me that it is the lowest. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen my Timpani jig screw and back my jam nut, my knurled knob, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this until the pointer touches the top of the rim. Okay, so we reset the camera for you to show you a close-up of what I'm about to do. So this was the tension rod that I determined was the lowest out of all of them. So I'm setting the screw to where it just touches. Give myself a little bit more there, to where it just touches. And you might be able to see over here, I'll run it a little high for you, it lifts off the lip of the bowl. So that's how the jig really works, is it uses the two corresponding lips of the bowl to give you a true level. So you can see the height there. So I'll back it back down to where I'm at. Okay, so we're just making contact. So I'm going to hold it still and lock it. So now I have my measurement. So now I'm going to deem this lug number 1. Now I'm going to go flip this and go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc., etc. All right, so we reset. I'm at number 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go from 1 to 2. Okay. Now I'm going to go and look at my gap. And what it is, what I'm seeing under here is this is touching, and I have a gap right here. Okay? So I need to lower this. So I'm going to move it out of my way, and I'm going to go ahead and add tension until the rim, I'm going back and forth just a little bit right there until it just touches like it did over here. So I've done 1 and 2. I now know that they are exactly level with each other. Okay? So now I'm going to go from 2. Again, the bowl we know is level. So again, we're high. So I'm going to move it off to the side a little bit. And I'm going to add tension until I get my reading. Right there. Okay? And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around the drum, going in the direction that I need to go, which is tightening, adding tension. So hopefully, I'm going to make sure I stand out of the way. I'm just I'm getting a little more life in the pedal here after 1, 2, 3 lugs, now 4. Okay, so we're good there. Okay. Two more to go. All right, this one's so high that I can teeter-totter it. Okay. So adding slowly. And see, this is what if you were to take this jig into the band room, let's say the band director says they're having a hard time with the pedals, this is what you can do in the band room. This one was extreme. Little too much. I'm going to take it back about a quarter turn. Okay, there we go. And Okay, so looks like the pedal, and that's why I got the camera on the pedal, so even though I might not be watching it totally, you may be able to watch it split because I'm watching my gauge. All right. Okay. And the last one right here. And again, like I was saying, you run these down with your fingers. You've changed the head, you've run these down with your fingers, and you've taken your, I like using 2 wrenches. You've started bringing your tension up, and you notice your heels start to move, and you're able to move the pedal a little bit. And this is where you start tuning your fundamental low note, and then seeing if you can get a toe from your fundamental low note. Okay, so I've gone around to all of them, finished all the way around. We're level. So now the moment of truth with the pedal. Let's see if we can get heel down. Heel down. And is it staying? It stayed. Okay. Toe. We got almost full toe. Yep. And that was just simply by finding the lowest lug, which was here, and using my leveling jig to level it all out and get equal tension back on everything. Okay, so we have the pedal working, and like I said, this is the same thing that you would do. Like I said, you're changing a head, you got the new head on there, your finger tightening everything up. You're going to start by getting that low fundamental. Okay, so the low fundamental on this drum is usually G. Yamaha can sometimes go down to the F, as is indicated for this model. So I have my tuner set to an F. Yeah, it's in the ballpark. Ringing sharp. Okay. And our high end is supposed to be a D. And the pedal is holding. Now, lug to lug. It should be pretty darn close because your leveling jig should get you there. Maybe you have to fine tune each lug. Maybe you have to fine tune each lug an eighth of a turn, but that's really in the ballpark right there. Okay, and we have full pedal. Yeah, the G is sharp and ringing sharp. Yeah, it's got a pretty decent ring and tone to it. It does have that weird after ring. Okay. So those are all things that we can fine tune, an eighth of a turn here, there, just keep working on it. Okay, brand new head. The other thing I do with brand new heads, I go to the heel down, and it's the same method I use on my snare drums and things like I call it the CPR, because everything is brand new. When you start working the pedal, the glue and everything's going to snap, crackle, and pop. Okay, so to help that and help the seating of it, I got everything nice the first time. Low ends tuned, high ends tuned. So now I'm going to do some CPR. Again, low position, and all I'm going to do is just give it some real gentle compressions to just kind of stretch it. Just a little bit. Not getting crazy with it, to try to help seat and stretch that head just a little bit, because a brand new head, you're going to be chasing it for about a week, fine tuning. So if you have the shop space, that's one thing. You get the heads on, you're going to want to keep them around for a few extra days just to let things seat, so that you can then refine tune them a couple of days later, because you'll store them for like a day with the pedal, with the toe all the way up. That's what I do, the toe all the way up, so that they get stretched after you've done the CPR and everything. And then you go out and you see where your low fundamental is. Bam, bam, bam. Do your tuning with your tuner. Okay? So that's kind of like follow-up and everything. All right. So let's say you've done all that, and let's say, let's talk about something else. Say you have a really stubborn wrinkle along the bowl edge here, okay? And we've had those before, where when you operate the pedal, that wrinkle will start to crinkle and sound like a bag of potato chips, okay? So you just grab your heat gun, whatever heat gun you have, and put it on a low heat setting. It doesn't need to be real hot. Low heat setting, and you're going to fan that area way far away. Just take your time and feel with your hand, because you don't want to burn and melt the mylar. Nice and even. Okay, and you'll see that wrinkle start to dissipate. It'll suck up and draw up. Okay, almost like when you would do shrink wrap on a storm window. Same idea. Okay, so that's what you would do with wrinkles. Same on snare drums, drum set heads, any kind of head that'll wrinkle up on you, and you want to take that wrinkle out. You use a heat gun, low setting. Okay, and then so got everything good. I've used either petroleum jelly, or I've used Tri-Flow on all of the moving parts. Petroleum jelly on the lugs, or even the red box slide grease, like I've showed in my previous videos. The materials video covers a lot of that. Make sure that you lubricate and do all your spots.